Hello there. Welcome to Just the Discs. We talk about Blu-rays here and sometimes 4Ks, and we talk about all kinds of labels from all corners of the globe, as we like to say when we talk about Diabolic DVD. Now, for this episode, I'm focusing on some recent releases from Imprint Films in Australia, a subsidy of Via Vision Entertainment. We got some box sets, we got some Scorsese, we got some 70s, we got some sci-fi, a lot of classic films. Much to discuss. So let's get into this here, shall we? First off the bat, probably the one I'm most excited about is this new double Blu-ray set of Scorsese's New York, New York, which, you know, notorious flop at the time, but a movie that I think is really interesting. You know, it's long. We have multiple cuts of the movie here, which is really intriguing. I don't think these have been made available previously. So Liza Minnelli and Robert De Niro star in Martin Scorsese's musical classic, New York, New York. You can hear Kander and Ebb's title song already. Yes, of course you can. Produced just 1 year after Taxi Driver, Scorsese aimed to present a more vibrant look inside the Big Apple, a glittering homage to classic Hollywood with darkness lingering just below the surface. Now, when they talk about that, they're talking about movies like, I want to say like Blue Skies and Love Me or Leave Me and oh man, there's one with Ida Lupino. Your Man. I'll have to think of that. But they were these slightly darker tinged musical, but they weren't musicals. They were movies typically about characters who were living and working in some kind of musical space. They were singers, sometimes in seedy places, and you know, there was just this whole group of them, and so it's not just a tribute to musicals like MGM and things like that in terms of production, but it's also got the noir in it, which is perfect for Scorsese, and one of the reasons I think it's one of his more interesting films, and definitely underrated. Packed with extravagant musical numbers and intimate drama, the film is a powerful dive into obsession and love, a must-see chapter in Scorsese's remarkable legacy. Jimmy is a talented saxophonist who prowls World War II nightclub floors, sizing up amorous prospects. And when he meets Francis, Francine Evans, sparks fly, but can their relationship survive Francine's professional success? So here's what's funny about that. It's one of the more interesting and more memorable meet cutes ever. I want to say it's like VJ Day or something like that. It's a big, hall full of folks. And De Niro's Jimmy sits down next to Liza Minnelli, starts hitting on her. She's like, dude, just leave me alone. And he will not take no for an answer, like keeps coming back. Even gets, goes from like annoying to back around to cute again. Like he comes over and is just like, was that guy annoying you? It becomes cute at a point. And so I really dig that. And I do find the marriage proposal itself in the movie to be pretty memorable. Rarely do you have someone talking about marry me or back the car over me, your pick, like it doesn't always go that way. So presented here in a limited edition 3-disc hard box featuring the full 163-minute director's cut. I think that's the version we're used to seeing. As well as the shorter 137-minute European theatrical cut, plus an exclusive hardcover book. No, it says booklet. It's a book. I'll show you in a second. Including an essay from journalist and filmmaker Bilge Ebiri. 1,500 copies only. So, you have your pretty heavy imprint hard box. Take our top off, and we have 2 discs and the book, and I'll show you the book in a second. But so this first disc, this is the director's cut with a new audio commentary by filmmaker, film historian Daniel Creamer. Audio commentary by Martin Scorsese and film critic Carrie Rickey, which was part of the previous MGM, I think, Blu-ray, if you have that, and I do have that around somewhere. It also has an introduction by Scorsese, which I think was also part of that Blu-ray. So that's what you get with this one. And then we get the 137-minute 1080p high-definition presentation of the European cut. Now, that first disc doesn't have, just has the movie, and then we have a full special features disc. Now, it's got some new extras on it, which is very cool. It's got piano player, interview with actor Barry Primus, momentary departures, movie ballets, musical showstoppers, and detours. A video essay by film historian, filmmaker Daniel Creamer again. Scene-by-scene audio commentary by cinematographer Laszlo Kovacs, which is very cool. The New York Stories documentary. I think that was presented in 2 parts on the previous Blu-ray. Liza on New York, an interview with actress Liza Minnelli. Archival interviews with Liza Minnelli and Martin Scorsese. Pre-title card with new audio commentary by Daniel Creamer. Super 8 version, storyboards. And then we have this lovely book. This is not a booklet, folks. To call it a booklet is doing it a disservice. This is a bound, beautiful little book, right? And new essay by journalist, filmmaker Bilge Ebiri. So Bilge's essay is this whole book, and it's beautiful, and it's like matte photos included and everything. It's just a beautiful presentation. So if you're a fan of this movie, and I know that you folks are out there, this is the version you want. It's got the new extras, it's got the book, an essay, and it is lovely. So a really nice set from Imprint for Scorsese fans. Next we have a little 70s rarity. This one doesn't have any extras, but it is, I believe, worldwide Blu-ray debut. Enter the world of circuit rodeo, the American rodeo circuit with J.W. Coupe, a unique Western, starring, directed, co-written, and co-produced by Cliff Robertson, who, in general, I'm okay with, but not a great dude behind the scenes in a lot of ways. But that said, this is an interesting movie and an interesting showcase for him, and I didn't even realize he was the full-on auteur behind it. After being released from a 10-year prison sentence, J.W. Coupe is determined to win a national rodeo championship when his turbulent past, exemplified by his disturbed mother, collides with his one shot at a comeback. Coupe is confronted with a society that has radically changed since his incarnation. Using footage from actual rodeos and made in cooperation with the Rodeo Cowboys Association, this is a glimpse into America's backyard and the determination that drives its people. Just a 1080p presentation and a limited slipcase. But, it's nice when they bring out the ones that haven't had Blu-rays before, so that is a plus. But, it's just one of those 70s Into the West kind of movies. I'm thinking of, like, Junior Bonner, maybe. Things like that, where it's just... just an interesting look at a dying type of character, ultimately. And the Western was such a popular genre, I find it interesting that we have so many dying Western movies, End of the West movies, and I'm always drawn to those. So pretty exciting to have a Blu-ray debut of J.W. Coupe. Next up, we have a really nice 4K set of It Came from Outer Space, from 1953. This has been on 4K before, but there's some new features here to check out. So 4K UHD plus Blu-ray, based on an idea by Ray Bradbury. It Came from Outer Space is one of the most beloved sci-fi films from the 1950s and a must-see for fans of War of the Worlds, starring Richard Carlson from Creature of the Black Lagoon, Barbara Rush, who won a Golden Globe for her performance. The Imprint limited edition release includes the classic film in 2D on 4K UHD and Blu-ray, the 3D version of the film on Blu-ray, and the made-for-TV sequel, It Came from Outer Space 2 from 1996 in standard def. So that's something that hasn't, I don't think, been included before. I could be wrong about that. So disc 1, 4K UHD, 2160p, ultra-high definition presentation of 2D version in HDR10. Audio commentary by film historian Tom Weaver. The Universe According to Universal documentary from 2000. That's all on the first disc. Disc 2 is 1080p presentation on Blu-ray of the 2D version, 4K remaster. It Came from Outer Space 2, 1996. Standard def included. Audio commentary by film historian Tom Weaver. Again, Universe According to Universal doc. Now new, we have Jack Arnold Remembers It Came from Outer Space. Interview with director Jack Arnold. It's new in that it's a new feature on this disc, but it's previously unreleased. It's from 1983. And another new feature, The 3D Girl, an interview with actress Catherine Hughes from 2004, also previously unreleased. So that's on the first two discs. And then on the third disc, we have a 1080p presentation of the 3D version. And that's all that's included there. Now, on top of that, we have some lovely cards that come with it. Really nice, glossy, collectible cards in a little envelope that come with it, if you're into that. They're quite lovely. Just like snapshots you picked up from the photo mat or something. So that's nice. But yeah, that's... It Came from Outer Space, 4K, 3-disc set. All right. Then we have the Tales of Adventure collection. Now, we have 5 and 6 included here, and these are really interesting because they vary widely in terms of, some are old school serial type adventure. In this case, we've got some sci-fi, and the next one we have some war. Recently announced, we have 3 new sets. Tales of Adventure 7, 8, and 9, where we have like Thief of Baghdad, multiple versions of that film, and then the next set includes 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and but the 1916 version, Master of the World, Valley of the Dragons, which is a worldwide first on Blu-ray. War Gods of the Deep, Jules Verne's Rocket to Mars, and Light at the Edge of the World, which is really good. I like that one a lot. So that's really cool. That's coming in the Volume 8 set. And then we have the Volume 9 set, which is 74 to 78 and includes The Land that Time Forgot, At the Earth's Core, The People That Time Forgot, and Warlords of Atlantis, which is a first time on Blu-ray release. Anyway, so on to Tales of Adventure 5, 1954 to 1957. So this set is a 4-disc set, and we can kind of go through these one at a time to demonstrate what's contained herein. Let's start with The 27th Day. This is a movie I'd not heard of. Included here, The 27th Day, The Night the World Exploded, which is a worldwide first on Blu-ray. This Island Earth, Devil Girl from Mars, The Gamma People, which is also a worldwide first on Blu-ray, plus the bonus film, The Underwater City from 1962 in standard def. 27th Day, 1957. Based on a novel of the same name by John Mantley, The 27th Day stars sci-fi icon Gene Barry, Valerie French, and George Vaskovic, and directed by William Asher, who did the Beach Party movies, among other things. An American newspaperman, English beauty, an Iron Curtain soldier, German scientist, and Chinese peasant are mysteriously whisked aboard a spaceship by a creature from another planet and are given capsules, power enough to destroy the world. No extra features on this one, 1080p presentation. The Night the World Exploded. Now, this is a worldwide first on Blu-ray. That's included on this disc here. 1957, catastrophic earthquakes threaten Earth in the suspenseful race against time. A scientific team builds a machine that can predict earthquakes and predicts one will hit California within the next 24 hours to a skeptical government. Also no features, but a movie that I would like to check out. Very curious about that one. Next we have This Island Earth. This is a standalone in its in this case here. 1955, famously the movie that they did the Mystery Science Theater movie with. Based on a novel by Raymond F. Jones, This Island Earth stars Scream Queen Faith Domergue as a scientist recruited by aliens to help fight an intergalactic war. 2 rocket scientists are spirited away from Earth by a mysterious alien to aid in the defense against Zagons. They are determined to escape, even if it means a battle to the death. 1080p presentation, trailers from hell from Joe Dante, a new audio commentary by Heath Holland from Serial at Midnight included. Very excited to hear Heath's commentary on this movie here, this sci-fi classic, as it were. Then we have Devil Girl from Mars, 1954. With all Martian males extinct after a battle of the sexes, Nia lands on Earth and traps guests in a lonely Scottish inn with the aim of capturing breeding stock. Patricia Laughlin is the Devil Girl from Mars, a terrifying Martian hellbent on bringing back Earthling males to her home planet. 1080p presentation, new audio commentary by film historian Philippa Berry, audio commentary by novelist critic Kim Newman and writer-journalist Barry Forshaw, a great duo, and a commentary I would love to hear. That's from 2024. New Invasion from Outer Space, interview with author John Tolson, as well as an interview with novelist and critic Kim Newman from 2024. So that's very cool as well. Then we have The Gamma People from 1956. Based on the original story by the trailblazing author Robert Aldrich, Whatever Happened to Baby... Based on an original story by... So he wrote the story, I guess. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, The Dirty Dozen. An American reporter smells the story of a lifetime when he's stranded in an Iron Curtain country where the local dictator is using gamma rays to transform children into mutated henchmen. This has the bonus film Underwater City in standard def. There's also a Trailers from Hell by Joe Dante on The Gamma People, so you know it has his seal of approval. He does like him some classic sci-fi from this period. I have not seen The Gamma People, Paul Douglas and Eva Bartok. I am very curious, especially with the Aldrich thing there. I want to check out the features on Devil Girl from Mars. Very curious to hear the Kim Newman stuff on there. So that's very neat. So this is Adventure Collection, Tales of Adventure Collection Volume 5. Then we have Tales of Adventure Collection Volume 6. Now this is a little bit more war-based stuff. Again, 4 discs. We'll go through them one at a time here. We shall start with Counterattack with Paul Muni. So this one, what's included here, I'll just go through really quick. These are almost all worldwide firsts on Blu-ray. Counterattack 1945, Abandoned Ship 1957, King Rat 1965. Those are all worldwide firsts on Blu-ray, and the Bridget Ragin 1969 not. But I totally missed Abandoned Ship is in this set. That's so exciting. I really like Abandoned Ship. In fact, I want to watch it now. Anyway, okay, Counterattack 1945. Based on the Broadway play of the same name, Counterattack stars the original Scarface, Paul Muni, and Zoltan Korda's thrilling war drama. During a mission to capture a Nazi officer deep inside enemy-held territory, paratrooper Alexei Kulkov ends up trapped inside the basement of a bombed-out building, along with a fellow Russian and 8 German soldiers. 1080p presentation. You know, no other extra stuff, but still exciting to get a worldwide Blu-ray premiere. But this is really the one. This is the one that snuck by me. I'm also interested in King Rat. I haven't seen King Rat, but Abandoned Ship I've seen a crappy version of, like a VHS rip. And I'm bummed there's no extras on this, but that said, still excited because it's a good sinking ship movie and one that has been thus far really under-discussed because it was really hard to see. A luxury cruise liner sinks and leaves passengers stranded at sea in an abandoned ship based on the real-life sinking of the American ship William Brown in 1841. When a lifeboat built only for 9 is carrying 20 injured passengers, the ship's officer must decide who is to be cast out to sea to give the others the chance to survive. Fun to watch with Hitchcock's Lifeboat, but again, Tyrone Power stars in this one, along with Mai Zetterling and Lloyd Nolan. Yeah, I'm really, really psyched about this. I don't know how I missed... Like, the title is a little boring, so when you read Abandoned Ship, you're like, oh, that doesn't really register, but... Yeah, this one I gotta watch very soon because I've only seen a crappy version. Okay, King Rat, 1965, nominated for 2 Academy Awards. King Rat stars Hollywood legend George Segal as an American soldier stuck in a Malaysian POW camp during World War II in Singapore's notorious Changi prison. A cold-blooded American wheeler dealer named King manages to keep himself and his flunkies well-clothed and well-fed. British Army Lieutenant Gray tries to maintain discipline amidst the camp's desperate circumstances, realizing he both needs and despises the fast buck operator King. Again, no features on this one, unfortunately, but it is nice to get a worldwide Blu-ray premiere of a George Segal movie. And if you're a George Segal hardcore like me, this is really exciting stuff. So lastly, Bridget Ragin. This does have some features and even some new features. 1969, a fictionalized version of the actual events during the last months of World War II. The Bridget Ragin features an all-star cast, including George Segal, Robert Vaughn, and Ben Gazzara. A desperate skirmish transpires between an American lieutenant and a Nazi major as the Allies advance on Remagen and target a strategically located bridge across the Rhine. 1080p presentation. New audio commentary by filmmaker, film historian Steve Mitchell and Stephen J. Rubin. New to Cast a Skyward Gaze, the making the case for John Gillerman, a video essay by film historian Daniel Kramer. Archival interview with actor Ben Gazzara, archival interview with actor George Segal, isolated music track. A really nice feature. Nice set, ultimately. And like I said, I'm going to be watching Abandoned Ship very, very soon. Because it is good. Along with The Last Voyage, which... That got a Blu-ray, didn't it? I gotta look that up now. That's the one with Robert Stack and Dorothy Malone. Andrew L. Stone movie. I really dig that. Last Voyage. No, you know what? It still hasn't got a Blu-ray. That's a bummer. Next up we have a double bill here. Some genre stuff. We have Flesh and Fantasy and Dead of Night. Now these have both been available previously. 1943, 1945. Flesh and Fantasy got a nice Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome, and Dead of Night has had various British releases and a Kino release, and so I'm curious what new stuff they have to offer, but we'll go through this set. I do like both films, certainly. Flesh and Fantasy was a first time watch for me when that Vinegar Syndrome disc came out. Flesh and Fantasy and Dead of Night are classic 1940s anthology films with a supernatural twist. With stories by acclaimed writers such as Oscar Wilde and H.G. Wells and performances from Hollywood stars including Edward G. Robinson, Barbara Stanwyck, Betty Field, and Michael Redgraves, this is a must-see classic horror at its finest. Packed together in a limited edition hardbox and loaded with brand new special features, discovering these predecessors to The Twilight Zone filled with thrills, chills, tight scripts, and remarkable performances. Yes, that is a good way to describe them. They are definitely pre-Twilight Zone-y vibes. Flesh and the Fantasy, 1943. 3 occult tales based on stories by Ellis St. Joseph, Oscar Wilde, and Laszlo Vadnais. When a jittery businessman complains of a disturbing dream, a friend relates 3 stories to help calm his nerves. In the first, a homely dressmaker wears a mask of beauty to attract men on Mardi Gras night. It's kind of a weird spin on Cinderella in a way. A fortune teller predicts an eminent lawyer will commit a murder, and a high-wire artist, haunted by a nightmare in which he suffers a fall, romances a woman who resembles the one he had seen in his dream. So this has 1080p presentation, new audio commentary by film historians Rodney Barnett and Adrian Smith, new Fear and Fantasy, the thematic layers of Julian DeVivier's Flesh and Fantasy video essay by film scholar Joseph Dwyer, and also new Tales of Terror, Flesh and Fantasy, and the horror anthology films interview with film critic John Towson, author of The Turn to Gruesomeness in American Horror Films, 1931 to 1936. So that's cool. You got some new stuff there. I can't remember what extras were included on the Vinegar Syndrome, but I feel like there were some that maybe aren't there, but don't quote me on that. Dead of Night, 1945. This spooky anthology connects 5 original stories by H.G. Wells, John Baines, E.F. Benson, and Angus MacPhail, framed as nightmares from guests at an English countryside manor, named by Martin Scorsese as the 5th scariest horror movie of all time. I want to see the other 4. Ranking at number 35 on Time Out's 100 Best Horror Films, Dead of Night will have you on the edge of your seat. There'd been an anthology movie. No, that's just a little quote. Never mind. Okay, so new audio commentary by critic and film historian Pamela Hutchinson. A new Short Sharp Screams, Dead of Night, and British Horror Anthology. And the British Horror Anthology interview with John Llewellyn Probert. And also a new feature, Scoring the Night, on George Auric and Dead of Night, interview with author Dr. David Huckvale. Remembering Dead of Night documentary also included. This one has the it has the one with the doll in it. The man. It's not a mannequin. It's it's like magic. It's like that. Ventriloquist dummy thingy. It's pretty creepy. That one's pretty creepy, I gotta say. But a cool little double set with some new features. If you're a fan of these movies, you already have them. You got some new extras to motivate you to grab that. Just a couple more things here. We have one called Ivy. And Ivy's from 1947. It's a worldwide first on Blu-ray. Golden Age of Hollywood favorite Joan Fontaine stars as the titular Ivy, and Edwardian Belle with a dark side based on the novel story of Ivy. When Ivy and Edwardian Belle begins to like Miles, a wealthy gentleman, she is unsure of what to do with her husband Jervis and her lover Dr. Roger. She makes a plan to poison her husband. Directed by 3-time Academy Award nominated filmmaker Sam Wood, who did Goodbye Mr. Chips. 1080p presentation has a new feature called A Classic Duplicity, an interview with Jeremy Arnold, author of Turner Classic Movies, The Essentials, as well as the Suspense, The Story of Ivy, 1945 radio adaptation of the original novel by Marie Belloc Lowndes, starring Ann Richards, Raymond Lawrence, and Wally Marr. So that's what you get with this one. Another classic that sounds kind of noirish, and I do like Joan Fontaine. Oh, Herbert Marshall's in here too. Very nice. In that kind of story. Definitely the images are very evocative in a way that makes me want to check that one out. And lastly, we have Bride of Vengeance. And this one is from 1949. It's also a worldwide first on Blu-ray. Critically acclaimed director Mitchell Leisen. Hold Back the Dawn. I mean, he did Midnight. He did Easy Living. Did some really great work with some really great scripts from Preston Sturges and Billy Wilder and Charles Brackett. Brought this historic romantic drama to life, a passionate tale set during the Italian Renaissance. When a loveless marriage is arranged between a Borgia and the Duke of Ferrara for an acquisition of land, Lucretia Borgia struggles between her burning desire for vengeance and her growing love for the Duke. Starring Paulette Goddard, John Lund, and MacDonald Carey. 1,500 copies. 1080p presentation on Blu-ray from a 4K scan by Paramount. It says a new audio commentary by film historians Daniel Kramer and David Del Valle. A new featurette, a flair to remember and appreciation of Mitchell Eisen by Alan Arkush, which I'm actually very excited to check out. I do like Alan Arkush. I like his taste in movies. I like his taste in classic film. And I'd love to hear him talk about Mitchell Eisen. So that is actually kind of a worth checking out, worth getting this set. I mean, just for the Leisen of it, I'm into it. So anyway, that will do it for this round of Imprint Film stuff. Check out their website, viavision.com.au, I think, or just look up Imprint Films and get news of all the latest releases. They've got Wolf Creek coming in 4K in a hard box. They've got a standard steelbook edition of their renowned, notorious Neverending Story 4K UHD. That's still really expensive, still over $100, unfortunately. But a couple Alfred Hitchcock collections, Alfred Hitchcock Hour Season 1. A lot of cool stuff to check out. Cinema of Powell and Pressburger collection is pretty neat. Tons of good stuff to check out and grab from Imprint. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.